Hey guys, how are we? Well, another freezing day here at the moment. Way too cold for my liking. We should be getting into spring by now, and it just seems to be getting colder. Well, we're looking at relocating. Hopefully, the property will settle sometime this week or next week, which means that we're getting to the pointy end of the stick in regards to looking at a relocation option. Just wanted to do a quick sort of video just to give you a bit of an insight into some of the places that we're looking at the moment. One of those places is actually the Canary Islands, close to Europe, and quite a nice location. It's in some places it's affordable, but that's just one of the options we're looking at. The other one is actually Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia. So we're just waiting to see how that sort of pans out in regards to requirements with COVID. And the other is Thailand, and also just waiting for some modification to their requirements in regards to entrance with COVID and all that sort of stuff. So, and after that, we'll probably head back to Australia. So it's going to be an interesting time. We're just going to have a bit of a holiday and just see how things pan out. The really concerning news that we're sort of hearing today is that the US is claiming that Russia has asked China to support them in Ukraine militarily, which basically would mean that you have World War III. I mean, we've already think that World War III has begun. That's our evaluation of things. I know there's a few people in the comments section who have basically said that no, World War III won't happen. The problem is that you have such a severe economic downturn, and post-COVID-19 and shutdowns, and the things that they've done with economic and fiscal stimulation post 2008 financial crisis, GFC, just hasn't worked. What it's done is basically created more debt and kicked the can down the road. One of the broader macro perspectives that I think would be helpful for people to understand is the long drawn out process of ascending and descending global powers. We think that the US is a descending global power, and often what happens is you have a war between an ascending and descending global power, but it's usually through a proxy. That proxy could be North Korea, could be it could be Ukraine, and those sort of circumstances are very real, and that's usually how it plays out, or that's what history sort of indicates. So we sort of think that we're already in World War III. It's already begun. It just hasn't escalated, and there's going to be economic ramifications to that. I know that the US is claiming that China is supporting Russia in bypassing their sanctions, and at the end of the day, that's always going to happen. There's not going to be any sort of open shut case in regards to that. And I think the other thing that stands out to me is that the US is so clearly a declining power. These other nation states like China, India, Russia, Iran, etc., really don't care too much about what the US is saying or thinking anymore, or the sanctions that they're putting on them. There's an alternate financial system that has been set up, and an alternate global reserve currency. There's a few alternates at the moment, and I think that's what we're going to see, is a multipolar world in regards to many different power bases. And one may come out as the preeminent sort of power. I know the China is really pushing for the yuan to be the global reserve currency. But I just can't see that happening. And I think a lot of business people, a lot of countries, and a lot of multinational companies don't trust China or the not the renminbi, but the yuan. So, look, I think it's going to be a new digital currency. I think it's already been in the pipe works for a long time, and this war that we're about to have is going to really fast track a lot of the work that's been done behind the scenes over the last 10 years. So I think 2008 indicated that it was the beginning of the decline, and it's just really accelerated from that point. And that's why Russia's probably gone into Ukraine, and they genuinely don't care. I did see someone sort of say, oh, look, it's not as if Vladimir Putin called up Xi Jinping and said, hey, look, I'm going to go and invade Ukraine next week. And I think that's exactly what's happened, particularly with the timing. And I think Russia and China are working together to basically usurp the US's or the West's preeminence. So I think that's what we're looking at in the macro picture at the moment, is really declining superpowers, and it can and often does get very messy. So I think we're in that process at the moment. That's just going to continue to build up momentum, and we in the West are not all that familiar with how things are done in the East. But, I think we'll be getting used to those things over the next 2 or 3 decades. So I think this is not going to fall our way somehow. So anyway, not that I want to be negative, but I just think that's the way it's going to fall. So anyway, the Canary Islands is what we're looking at the moment. KL, Kuala Lumpur, and Thailand. So that's where we'll be looking at next, and possibly even a bit of a stint in Australia. So we'll just see how things go with that, but I'll keep you posted and let you know what the requirements for entry are and all that sort of stuff. So, all right, guys, hope you're well. If you haven't liked and subscribed to the channel, do that, and we'll keep you informed.